Well, hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. I'm Corny Swiss, and this is another game I played on the disastrous day that will not be mentioned. So I just refused to hit the record button again. So we're pulling it again from the replay. Last time, I promise. Replay system isn't bad now. It could be much, much better, but it's not bad. This is a realistic battle on Poland in Conquest game mode. And I'm sitting behind this Stug hoping that, maybe he'll take the hit or someone will shoot him and not me. Nah. I get hit either way. But we get a nice assist on the Sherman over there. But I do need to get my tank back in order because there are going to be a couple enemy tanks pushing in over here. You can see me sort of trying to cover the approach there. It's going to be a Sherman who's going to dig himself in over there. And we're going to have to dig him out. Already coming in. Stug still locked in. I think he might be dead. I don't remember if he died or not. And you can see that there's an enemy right behind that hill. Too much behind the hill for me to loop a shot over there, but so we're going to need to move up, and my plan here was to move up and sit on the side of this building, and then when the enemy come up to poke around in the cap circle, I can give them a full barrel of the good news. But the enemy aren't going to cooperate. They're in the cap, they've already capped, so it makes sense that they wouldn't continue to push into the cap circle. There's no reason to. They're just sitting ducks. They're probably doing exactly what I'm doing. But there is that Sherman over there who's going around those buildings. But I just can't seem to get a shot on him from over here, so I need to move up more. There's a couple teammates who are in the area as well, and they're starting to shoot at him. Both teams have sort of fanned out in this game. We have guys in just about every part of the city, and they do too. But this game was played when I was trying to finish off the German tank destroyer mission. Get 40 kills in German tank destroyers. And this is the culmination. This is the last game I played. It seems like the last game I play is always, I think, a good one. Oh well. The Sherman over there has been dealt with, or if he hasn't been dealt with, I'm trying to get in position to deal with him. But this is a awkward place to be. You're in the wide open, and there's all kinds of avenues for the enemy to give you the business. There was an enemy over here, but he's been knocked out by Allied forces. And now, this is a really bad position to be in a martyr. And so I'm kind of just looking to shotgun someone and maybe get into the Stug that I've brought as well, the Stug A. So I'm just moving forward, trying to figure out where they are. And lo and behold, there's a Lee here who we put a nice round into and knock him out. However, that's going to do it for me in the martyr. A little unfortunate, but I was in a horrible position for the martyr, so yeah, kind of deserved it. But we also have a Stug. And the Stug is a interesting tank. I don't think the Stugs are all that good. Primarily because they have glaring frontal weak spots that people just know about. Those driver hatches. So it just seems like from a million miles away someone will hit that and just knock your tank out. Because if you get penetrated through one of those hatches, you're basically lights out. If they don't kill if they don't knock you out, they'll kill your driver, kill your gunner, and then you get knocked out on the second shot. So the Stug 3A suffers from this problem a little less than the 3F. The 3F, I mean, you think about it, it gets a better gun, so it gets a higher battle rating, but it doesn't improve any of the armor, and it faces bigger, more powerful guns, so it's in a rough spot in my opinion. You have to play it more like a martyr than you do the Stug 3A, which you can sort of use as an assault tank rather than a sit in the back campy tank destroyer. But now I'm just rushing forward, trying to get back to the fight, and The enemies seem... We're pushing into the cap, and there's some enemies here who are pushing around the northern part of the city, I guess trying to flank our whole position. Now, there's a Lee down here who's being attacked by a Panzer F1, which is good for us. So I'm going to stop and give him some supporting fire from over here. I've loaded the 100mm penetration heat shells, and I am causing damage to this guy. I've gotten his loader and a couple other components. Nothing insanely critical, though. But together, me and this F1 are going to knock out this Lee, which is all good. Now we need to continue moving forward, because now that we own the cap, I always feel like when you own the cap, it's better to continue pushing and drive the momentum and push them away from the cap. So now that we own the cap, I'd really like for the rest of the team, and myself included, to push out of the city and start engaging them and pushing them back into their spawn. Maybe take better positions in defense of the cap rather than trying to shoot tanks who are entering the cap circle. It's just not good, because for you to shoot them, they have to go into the cap circle. If they go into the cap circle, they start decapping, and that's just that's just the exact opposite of what we want. So I always prefer to continue pushing. Now, that has gotten me in trouble in the past, but you know, it's whatever. And there we go, we got a kill on that AAA. I think coming into this game I needed 2 realistic battle kills, so 4 total, because realistic battle was ×2. So I've completed the mission. Yay! Am I gonna get the tank? No. Of course not. I'm gonna have to do all the missions, and like I said in yesterday's video, it looks pretty good in trying to do that. Obviously, I'm having to pre-upload this because the oh, and there's a Stewart coming our way. We'll have to deal with him. I'm having to pre-upload this because I'm going to be traveling all day on the 11th. So, I just probably wouldn't have time to make the video once I get to my destination. Excuse me. So, that Stewart is making a run down over to the center of the city, which is a bad idea because he's going to get absolutely wrecked. But he gets, I think he got knocked out by someone else. Yep, all that flame should tell you. There's an M2 over here, and I'm actually going to start putting a little bit of hurt on this M2. Notice how I'm trying to use, because this gun has such low muzzle velocity, I can actually loop shells over and actually hit his front plate and things like that, even though he's hull down, essentially. However, he is backed up on the other side of the hill, and there's some more enemies spawning, so I'm just taking pot shots at random tanks. But my goal here is to aggressively push onto this M2, get in his face, and just plant one right through his tank. Because honestly, I'm not sure if the M2 will be able to shoot me in my weak spots if I can get that close to him. Bounce the initial shot, get right up in his face, and start pounding him. He's on fire. This next shot's going to do him right in. There we go. Nice. So we got a little bonus killage here. That's good. Now there's a Sherman over here, and Shermans are very dangerous tanks, and quite frankly they need to be prioritized. When you have the option of shooting a let's see, a Panzer IV or a Sherman, shoot the Sherman first. Kill the Sherman. Kill it with fire. I mean, honestly, you should always kill the target that poses the most significant threat to you, or the easiest gun to take out of the equation. But when it comes to a Sherman, I feel like the Sherman is just too strong against most tanks. And I actually got credit for that kill. I don't know why. I think he might have wrecked. But whatever. I got the credit, so it's mine. And now there's another light tank, another Stewart, who's going to be coming out of their spawn. But I'm going to rush forward, take a pretty solid little hill position, and start letting it go on them. Taking all kinds of hits in the side from the AAA, but AAA isn't going to bother me that much. Oh, it's an M22 Locust. My first shot got his driver, and I was like, okay, that's good. My next shot knocks him right out. It's a pretty good result for a fast little tank like that. Hit first shot, disables him, second shot knocks him out. That's how it should be. And here's a AAA truck that just got quite a good helping there. And we're at the very end of the game here. There's nothing they can do. They don't have enough tanks. They can't focus their forces. They can't come anywhere near the cap circle. And I'm doing some victory donuts, but an enemy does spawn, so we're going to have to deal with him. And now I'm kind of like, oh man, can I get this guy? He's moving full speed. And I'm going to miss a few shots, but I'm also going to hit a couple, which is pretty nice. I'm just going to keep firing the gun, because the more shells you fire, with more information each shell, because you can track, like, oh, was that shell short? Was that one behind him? Was that in front of him? So you can eventually zero this in, which is really nice. Which is something that's really nice about this gun in particular, is even though it has low muzzle velocity, the rate of fire is so high that it really doesn't matter. Whereas in tanks like the SC-122, it's very difficult to gauge your shots in, because one, there's variation between the shells, but also the what's it called? The rate of fire is so low that it's very difficult to just spam rounds down range. And oh, I'm trying to get him right before the game ends. Oh, come on. That shell actually got his driver, so I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we can do it. But it is not meant to be. He did not die. Sad. But anyway, thanks for watching. I've been Corny Swiss. I'll see you next time.